Today we're going to be talking about the misleading information surrounding the notion of ingesting borax and how it's supposed to help you with joint health. My name is Laura. I did this video with Eric Johnson, Juliet Brady, and Ethan Esquilin. And here's the information we found online that was misleading on TikTok.
People drink a borax solution because it contains boron, which is essential for bone health and for proper calcium and magnesium balance in the body. If it sounds a little strange, keep in mind that borax is simply a compound mined from the earth, just like salt. In fact, borax is no more toxic than table salt. The most common reason people use borax is to improve bone and joint health. This makes borax a helpful remedy for arthritis, osteoporosis, removing calcium deposits, and whitening and strengthening your teeth. The reason people take borax is to improve their general well-being. Borax has been found to be very helpful in improving cognitive function. It also promotes faster wound healing, gives you softer skin, and helps in weight loss. 1/4 teaspoon of borax in 1 liter of water will provide 110 milligrams of boron daily. Women is going to be half the dose since you're using 1/8 teaspoon. It's going to be about 55 milligrams approximately, more or less, depending on how level that teaspoon is.
Okay, so over the past few decades, the internet has been an accessible tool allowing for quick, obtainable information. Within seconds, you can get information on almost any subject, and this has transformed the way that information spreads throughout the world. It's had many benefits. You can get information on almost any subject. That's also, it can be a bad thing because there's a lot of misleading information because anyone can freely publish any content that they want. And without posing proper evidence or drawing a complete picture on subjects, information might not be properly evaluated. So the video we just showed you is from TikTok, which is a semi-newly emerging social media source where the public can post videos for entertainment, education purposes. And for the most part, it's been a very popular app. However, like any social media outlet, it can facilitate any spread of false information. So in this video, she talked about ingesting borax, which is commonly used in cleaning products as well as laundry detergents. It's a naturally occurring mineral often found in arid regions containing salt flats, where it is extracted through mining processes. So this picture is from Bourne, California, where borax is very commonly mined. So after going through an isolation and purification process, borax can be used for a lot of industrial purposes, such as cleaning products. And one of its properties that makes it so good for this is because it's an alkaline substance, which makes it an effective agent for removing stains on clothing, because it has the capacity to emulsify fats and oils and disrupt their hydrophobic regions. So this property, among other properties, contributes to borax's ability to make cleaning detergents more effective. So to summarize what she talked about in this video and the claims that she made, she elaborated on how boron is an essential element for bone health and proper balancing of calcium and magnesium levels. She also stated that because this mineral is mined from the earth like salt, it's no more toxic than table salt. And so therefore she believes that ingesting borax is an effective means of improving one's bone health and joint health. So she believes that people suffering from arthritis and osteoporosis, as well as lupus, chronic pain, and autoimmune diseases, could benefit greatly from this. She also tosses in other claims, such that borax can improve cognitive function, faster wound healing, softer skin, and weight loss. She describes the amount that both males and females should ingest, but she doesn't provide substantial evidence to support her initial claims. And while she's correct in some simple facts, such that boron is a useful trace element for bone maintenance, she paints an overall incorrect picture about the benefits of ingesting borax.
Hi, it's Eric. And so looking at what Deidre Lane said regarding the inaccuracies, misleading information, and research. So she didn't really make a distinction between borax and boron. She just said people take borax for boron. So to kind of break it down, borax is an ionic compound, as you can see in the bottom picture, with its chemical formula. And so it is actually not safe to ingest. The FDA states it is a poison, actually. So poison control should be contacted for guidance as it's toxic. And some of the common symptoms that can result from ingestion are nausea, vomiting, diarrhea in a distinct blue and green color, and it can lead to more severe side effects. And then Deidre also doesn't mention if it's breathed in, what the effects would be. So that can irritate skin, it can irritate the eyes, it can hurt the nose, the throat, and eventually the lungs. And so moving into boron, as Laura mentioned, it's a trace element, it's a chemical and a metalloid, and it's taken as a supplement in low amounts. And so the low amounts are 3 milligrams to 6 milligrams daily. And according to the NIH, it is not an essential nutrient for humans. And it is absorbed by the gut and distributed to tissues and organs. And with this, there's not much known on what the absorption in these areas actually does. And the benefits supposedly behind the supplement are that it improves inflammation, improves skin health, overall function, energy, and bone and joint health, but the studies to support this are only observational. They're short in length with small experimental groups, and some of the results are actually from animal testing and not humans. And so to summarize, Lane really doesn't give any established results or benefits. She just kind of states them. And so continuing, some of the benefits she mentions are that it improves cognitive function, it improves skin health, and it improves metabolism. And so looking at that, in addition to cognitive function, she says it helps improve well-being as well. And this is actually not true getting into the actual effects. They can be dangerous mental health symptoms such as headaches, depression, seizures, tremors, and it can become even deadly. Moving into skin health, she said it can make your skin smoother. And this is also not true because it doesn't soften the skin. It actually causes like a boiled red lobster type of rash, as you can see in the picture. And this can lead to skin loss. It can actually be all over the body. And something she doesn't mention, which people do, is they take like a borax bath. And so with this, all the skin is exposed. And so to kind of deal with this, patients will wash with soap and water and then rinse with warm water. And then she mentions it can improve metabolism and actually lead to weight loss. This can actually be extremely dangerous to the digestive system as it damages the intestines, both large and small. It damages the liver and other organs, leading to kidney failure in some cases. And so some of the treatments to kind of reverse this borax ingestion are hemodialysis, which helps deal with these massive overdoses, and if a patient's in kidney failure as well. So it helps eliminate slash flush out of the system the borax at a 4 times faster clip than the body would normally. And then dealing with this lobster red rash, you can use hydrocortisone cream, 1% to deal with the redness and the itchiness, and that can help with some relief. And then if the skin is contacted, you can rinse with water and soap. And then if the eyes are, they have borax in them, you can rinse with cold water for 15 minutes. And then moving into this chart, um, she didn't really mention the different age groups, and she didn't mention like a normal tolerable level of boron. And the levels she actually recommended are extremely dangerous, and Juliet will go into that. So looking at the age groups mostly affected by TikTok, as it's a younger social media platform, ages 14 to 18, their upper level intake is only supposed to be about 17 milligrams for both females and males. And another age group affected, the 19 plus, only 20 milligrams for both male and female, and this is the upper level of boron that should be in one's body. And another big issue with this borax is an accidental consumption. So the amount of boron consumed via borax in these accidental cases could range from 18 milligrams all the way up to a severe case of 9,713 milligrams. And this mostly affects kids under the age of 6, which is extremely toxic because kids are more susceptible to borax toxicity and poisoning, and this can be very harmful as the child can go into shock and it can even lead to death.
Hi, so I'm Juliet. I'm going to talk about some more inaccuracies in some like case studies that have to do with joint pain and boron. So as we know, Lane claimed that drinking borax solution would help with joint pain, discomfort, and osteoarticular diseases, but she's telling us to get our boron from sodium borate, while scientists are using calcium fructoborate as their source of boron to treat things like osteoarthritis. So calcium fructoborate is an organic soluble sugar borate. It's got one or two sugar molecules attached to a boron atom. It's the kind of boron found in our foods, such as fruits, nuts, and vegetables, the foods that we get our daily dose of boron from. It's the kind of boron that we want in our diet and that our body can process without toxic side effects. Sodium borate, while it is naturally occurring inorganic substance, it's not found in fruits and vegetables, and it's not safe to consume. So while her claim is true that boron does help with joint pain and joint diseases, she's recommending that we eat toxic laundry detergent as our source of boron. So we're going to look at some doctors who've treated patients with boron sourced from calcium fructoborate, which I'm just going to call CFB. So the first one, there was a study done to see if CFB would reduce inflammatory biomarkers. So in a double-blind, placebo-controlled study, patients with osteoarthritis took different amounts of CFB, either 1.5, 3, or 6 milligrams. And it was found that the 6 milligram supplement was found to be the most successful in reducing the inflammatory biomarkers. And this is important because reducing the inflammation around the joints will reduce the pain the patients are experiencing. So CFB was very helpful with osteoarthritis, like by removing that inflammation. So it's leading to increased mobility because the pain and stiffness from the inflammation that prevented them from moving in the first place is no longer there. In the second study, also a double-blind placebo, looked at combining CFB with glucosamine and chondroitin sulfate to see if it would improve knee joint mobility and pain. So they divided it into 3 groups, and the first group received glucosamine and chondroitin sulfate. The second one received those 2 things in addition to CFB, and the third group was a placebo. And it showed that the second group experienced pain relief and increased mobility, while groups 1 and 3 did not. And after seeing how successful CFB was in just these 2 examples, with improving joint health and knowing that it is naturally occurring and it's non-toxic, it seems to offer an effective and much safer alternative than borax laundry detergent. As far as arthritis goes, Dr. Newnham, a doctor who's researched the effects and importance of boron in relation to bone health, he's treated a 9-month-old with juvenile arthritis using boron supplements, and they were able to see results within 2 weeks. And based on his research, he knew that people had experienced relief after taking 9 milligrams of boron per day for the first 1 to 3 months. And after 3 months, he advised reducing it to just 3 milligrams a day to prevent any further arthritis from returning. Now, in regards to this particular example of arthritis, the boron was sourced from borax. However, the patient was not drinking 20 Mule Team Borax laundry detergent. And regardless of that, the doctor's advising a completely different dose of boron compared to what Lane is proposing. So as mentioned earlier, Lane claimed that 110 milligrams of boron per day for males is what they should be taking, and 55 milligrams per day for females. in order to see improvement in joint health. However, when comparing those doses to the several different doctors who have prescribed and treated patients successfully, we see that lanes are way too high. So the World Health Organization deemed that 1 to 13 milligrams of boron per day was a safe and healthy amount for adults. And Lane is advising drinking 8 times more than the maximum recommended dose of 13 milligrams per day, which is dangerous because of the more borax you ingest, the more serious the effects can become.
So I'm Ethan, and I'm going to be talking about the social effects on the public that these kinds of trends have, specifically with the recent borax trend. But so the inaccuracies and misleading information that were previously mentioned, they can have dangerous effects on the public. A little more background into the woman that we posted the video with. She appears very professional, and she provides facts and information. People that are looking for alternative methods of medicine already have some form of distrust in modern medicine. If they see someone who appears professional, they're providing information, they appear like they're doing everything right and they know what they're talking about, they're gonna tend to believe them, even if the information, facts, the research that they did, facts they provided are misleading or even false. She's a spiritual healer. She titles herself as. She uses alternative methods of healing, like chakra control and light vibrations, things like this. It's obvious that she has some sort of distrust in modern medicine, so she's searching for these other alternative methods. With social media becoming as popular as it is, and TikTok being as big of a platform as it is, the influencers specifically on TikTok will have a larger influence, and all it takes is one person to catalyze a trend. So in recent years, there's been growing distrust towards modern medicine and hospitals, healthcare providers, things like that. And social media is a powerful tool to spread these opinions. And it seems that these people looking for alternative methods of medicine are taking to social media to express their opinion. Most of the participants in the borax TikTok trend are these types of people looking for alternative treatments. And all these people congregate and they talk together in social media groups and they post these videos on TikToks. It results in something called an echo chamber. It's basically an environment where people only encounter information confirming their pre-existing beliefs. And this results from another psychological principle called confirmation bias, which in summation is the tendency to interpret new evidence as confirmation of one's existing belief or theories. In summary, social media effects, they're a powerful tool, and it only takes one person to catalyze a potentially dangerous event. With the way that TikTok works, the algorithms, feed users with content based on their likes and popular videos, their video history, things like that. This kind of information floods their page, and they, like I said previously, they see people appearing professional and providing information and facts and research that they've done to support. In this instance, it's with ingesting borax. And as you can see, this is just a couple screenshots that I took from my phone, but if you search the borax trend on TikTok, there are hundreds and hundreds of videos of all these other people claiming that they've, seen positive benefits from taking borax, which isn't true, and it can build up and be potentially toxic, as we've discussed before. No matter the intent of the user, it is dangerous to spread misinformation to this degree. And again, it'll involve things like echo chambers, and it originates from confirmation bias and all of these other things to catalyze a dangerous event. And the problem extends beyond borax. We see trends like this pop up all of the time. But thankfully, with social media, there's another side of people that will disprove these theories and provide the real evidence and try to save these people from potentially harming themselves. So, with social media, there's good and bad, but they tend to balance each other out. And these are our references for the rest of the project.